The report will be sent straight to the High Court, where all the parties will convene for a decision this afternoon. Annika Larsen, she's been following that story for us since last week. Annika, very good morning to you. So what happens today? It's D-Day. It's the last day of Feb. That contract comes to an end today for Robert McBride.
That's right, and Robert McBride wants his second term of office extended. He says he's the victim of a political smear campaign, and the Police Portfolio Committee has been grappling with this for several days. In fact, they were probably up all night compiling a draft report which will be adopted at 10 o'clock this morning on whether Bheki Cele had the right to not extend his contract. And if you can imagine, as soon as that report is adopted, it'll then be thrown to the North Gauteng High Court. Meanwhile, and those parties will meet and discuss that order. Meanwhile, the Helen Suzman Foundation has gone to the Constitutional Court saying it's really not clear in terms of IPID renewal of contract. It needs to be clearer in the Constitution, in the IPID Act, and that whatever agreement these parties come to today, i.e. Parliament, the Police Minister and the North Gauteng High Court, that's just not good enough. There needs to be clear conditions and guidelines, and therefore they're asking for any decision that's made today at both Parliament and in the court to be set aside. So it's going to be an entire day up till midnight tonight of whether Robert McBride keeps his job or not.
Well, just take us back a little bit, Annika, to exactly what Bheki Cele said about why he does not want to renew or keep Robert McBride on in the job. I mean, we know Robert McBride has been a controversial figure. We can't actually quite make up our minds about him, but he was given the job, an important job, and then for it to be taken away, what was the reasoning?
Well, interestingly, the Portfolio Committee has been very, very divided along party lines on this. The ANC and NFP sticking to Bheki Cele's comment that he has not shown fitness to hold office, that there have been several allegations against him of harassment, of doing all sorts of behavioural aspects in the office that were not professional, that were not becoming of the conduct of the head of IPID, and the DA and other parties saying that he's the victim of a political smear campaign and he knows too much. He's doing very sensitive political investigations. He should have been given an oral hearing during this police committee discussions, which they didn't want to do. But the ANC's pushed very hard to support Bheki Cele's decision, and one has to wonder, despite Robert McBride's somewhat tumultuous past, if he has anything on top ANC leaders. One of the allegations is that the police bought this grabber, this cell phone grabber for Sona 1 year at a cost of 45 million when it was actually 10 million rand, and that extra 35 million was siphoned off to pay for the ANC elective conference, and that is something that Robert McBride will reveal. Whatever happens, it's going to come out at the Zondo Commission. He's due to testify at the end of March. But certainly by keeping him in the IPID position, they could have a little bit more control. But one of the big questions, and I think the Helen Suzman Foundation is right, is why would the police minister appoint the head of a police watchdog body? Surely there has to be some tension between those two, because otherwise you're having the hunter and the keeper being big buddies, and that's really not going to help solve political interference and political police behaviour in terms of making sure that they're on track with whatever it is that they're meant to be doing in a lawful way.
Yeah, well, it certainly does take the independent out of IPID, doesn't it? Well, and you also have to wonder, Annika, I mean, if he does get to keep this job, what kind of relationship, what do we expect to happen between him and the police minister after this? How easy will they make it for him to be able to do this job? And I must admit also, like what you said, is first thing that comes to mind is what does he have on whom that they actually would want him out of this job? Lost our connection to Annika Larsen, but we get the gist of it. Robert McBride will have an idea, well, whether it's by midnight tonight or whatever it is, that whether he gets to keep this job and how much of a further fight will he actually put up when it comes to wanting to keep this job.